I am now at the Mueller Farmers Market.
You have so many tons in gardening.
Now I will have to figure out how to eat this. Today we're going to have a conversation about community gardens, and to bring in an expert to tell us about how plants affect our everyday lives, we have Roman Gonzalez from Gardenio who will be joining us.
Let's get into Gardenio, right? So give me a brief intro of what you guys do. Obviously, I have my idea of what I know of it. But I don't know you guys.
So Gardenio is a new kind of garden club membership. So it's fundamentally membership. And what does that mean? Well, we send you everything you need to grow your own food at home in small outdoor spaces like a patio or a balcony, with an app and a community to help you as you grow.
Cool. So that is a good segue into the biggest topic today is community gardens, right? I'm actually not that particularly familiar with community gardens. I see it when I walk by, but let's kind of talk about need, right? So you talked about, hey, small spaces and having a community to work with. Why does that matter?
More than ever, really, right now, especially with quarantine and COVID, there's this big desire for folks to grow their own food, but a lot of folks don't own a home with a big yard or want to spend the money on a ton of raised beds and things like that. So they need more accessible ways to get into it. So community gardens, growing your own food generally in small spaces, can be a more accessible way to start to kind of roll into that. It gives people that access to be able to control where their food comes from, to know everything that goes into it, to learn about environments and how nature starts to affect the way our plants grow. And I think people start to tune in a little bit more to the world around them. And I think that when they start to tune in, that's when you get these really cool ripple effects of people living more sustainably or getting deeper into growing food. It's one of a bunch of different kinds of things that can bring people together, and anything that can bring people and communities together to start talking to each other, getting to know each other, having these small human interactions that are not about everything to make us anxious in the rest of the world. It's just about well, how do we prune this tomato today? It's just, that's what I like about growing food generally, that it's this kind of literal common ground, right? I don't know why
you have so many tons in gardening. That's amazing.
It's half the reason I'm in this business.
For people that aren't as familiar and kind of getting into it, let's kind of talk about the benefits of it. What's the difference not only in price, but taste, all of that.
Communities can really benefit from these community gardens. One, because it brings them together, creates that sense of community that you even be able to call it one. And then two, it gets people, particularly when you're helping younger folks grow, but the same is true for older folks as well, that when you start to tend to something like that, you actually start to enjoy eating vegetables more. You actually enjoy the taste better, right? And you appreciate it. You get exposed to this vast world of other plants that are not just the stock varieties of things that we get in grocery stores. So it breeds this sense of curiosity and adventure. And again, all of these things that I feel really fundamentally we strive for as human beings.
From your perspective, why do you think people in communities need gardens?
It allows us to share knowledge and tips and try things. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. And it feeds people, right? It's useful and delicious. You get to share things hey, I have a ton of zucchini and I want to be able to share it with you. And it felt so much more we're welcome here. We should be here and we want to be.
Yeah. All right. That's kind of it for me. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me about it. I know you're thoroughly enthusiastic and passionate about this, so it makes it fun and easy.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for inviting me. I appreciate it, V.
Thanks for joining the conversation as we talk about community gardens today. And also remember, if you're interested in learning and finding more real Texas foods, you can check out our directory of farms, farmers markets, and venues that support this by going to texasrealfood.com. I'll see you guys next time.